Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hopfile's channel. Today we're going to take a look at these, which is the FMA/FCS AMP headsets. Now, many people don't understand the need for a tactical headset in airsoft. That is to say that they don't understand the primary uses and why they should or should not get one of these. First off, they provide physical protection to your ears. Everyone knows that getting shot in the ear is a very, very painful thing to experience, and these cover your ears to provide good BB protection. Secondly, it is to do with radio communications. Sometimes when you're running with a squad of buddies, or even in a MILSIM event, you'll be provided with radios, and sometimes you don't want the radios to blast transmissions loudly into the surrounding, having the enemy also hear in on it, or even locate you because they can hear your radio. By using these and connecting them to the radios, you can not only place the radio in somewhere else that does not impede your movement, you can also listen to the transmissions without blasting it into the environment. Of course, there will be some times you want that to happen, but most of the time you only want to listen it yourself. And finally, and the most unique selling point of these headsets is that it provides a very good actual hearing protection. When you're using sound grenades like Thunder Bees or explosive devices, pyrotechnics, they tend to create a lot of noise in the form of explosions. Now, now it's commonly known that noises above 80 decibels will start to hurt your hearing, and these pyrotechnic or even sound grenade explosions would reach somewhere around 120 to 150 decibels, which is to say that it is way above the threshold of safe hearing. Normally, once or twice wouldn't exactly damage your hearing, but you will feel the ringing, tinnitus, all the stuff. However, once you start to be exposed to these noises more and more as you play airsoft, your hearing will start to degrade and a lot of health issues. Anyways, with these, they provide a certain amount of hearing protection to attenuate the noise level to a more acceptable, noise level. And it is because of this, many airsoft players and real steel shooters would prefer to use these over other systems like the earplugs, the other radio systems, because these provide a very comfortable solution to achieve all of the above. And in fact, these also provide some other secondary quirks. First of all, these apply friction over your shooting glasses, meaning that you'll have a easier time running around and not having them fall out or worry about that. Of course, you can use the straps that they provide. However, they sometimes tend to be difficult to put on because no longer as two prongs, it's now a loop, and you have to do it over the head. Another side advantage is that you can sound hog with these. You can turn the volume all the way up, and you can achieve super hearing. You can feel everything. It's enhanced situational awareness, as such. Now, before I look into how this actually performs, let's talk about the technical specifics. Firstly, hearing protection is rated by noise reduction rating. It is a measure of how effective your hearing protection actually attenuates sound. Typically, you have NRR ranging from 21 to 30 something with these kind of headsets. However, it isn't exactly straightforward how much it actually reduces. It doesn't reduce by, for say, 20 decibels if it has an NRR 20. Instead, it has a kind of equation behind it. Typically, what you will do is you will minus the NRR rating by 7 and then divide that number by 2. That's the actual attenuation, which is to say that which is to say, in case of this has an NRR rating of 26, which translates to actually reducing the noise level by 9.5 decibels. That sounds like not a lot, but remember, the decibel scale is a logarithmic scale, meaning that actually you're actually cutting off the sound level by almost a half, where 10 decibels is about half as strong as the previous. Anyhow, now we move on to the more communication side of it, and that is to do with the jack spec. Normally you have the NATO U174 spec jack. These are these fat little cables that resemble a beefed up 3.5 mm. They are standard for contacts and high-end hearing protection. You also have the ZTAC spec jacks that are found in the ZTAC replicas of their headsets. They are their own spec. It's just chaotic to speak. And there's also an amplified spec, which is a variation of the U174. Depending on what headsets you want to make sure that it is used with amplified or non-amplified, so you can buy the right push-to-talk. In this case, this is a standard non-amplified U174. So let's actually talk about the FMA AMP. The FMA AMP is a OEM by Falco Communication Systems, which is in the business of replicating real steel hearing protections for quite a while. In fact, the previous FMA racks were also their making, and the technology used is very similar. However, there are massive improvements with the system. As we mentioned before, this has a NRR of 26 and an actual attenuation of 9.5 decibels. Compared to Contact 3's 23 NRR, which is a actual 8 decibel reduction, it's about 1.5, which is about 1.7 times better in actual attenuations. Whether that is true or not, personally, I don't see that big of a difference. However, I'm willing to believe that it is actually true. The FMA AMP actually comes in a package. It comes with one microphone, one down lead, and two of these rail-mounted arms. These rail-mounted arms are actually one of the more interesting quirks of the AMP, because not only do they feature a quick detach system, they also hinge upon the rear rail section of the helmet, which is less used. Obviously, it has its own advantages and disadvantages. So now let's talk about the personal experiences. The headband is slightly padded with their own headbands, the headband wrappers, and they also feature a quick detach strap retention system, much like the real one. However, I personally feel like the headband doesn't provide enough pressure to achieve an optimal amount of seal to get most of the NRR juice to protect your ears. However, the rail mount is a completely different story. The rail mounts are very stiff and they spring out like this with very good tension. It is actually a much better design choice than the RAC, where they click out slightly, and sometimes that they click out slightly and it feels like a very, very short spring instead of this massive long spring that it uses in the AMP. So I've used this both with communications and some other stuff. First of all, it provides a very, very clear transmission. It is on par with the compact technologies. It's the good stuff in terms of actual radio transmissions. As you can see, the FMA amps are connectorized, meaning that you can connect the current down leads on both sides, or if you choose, you can connect, let me take off the other down lead, two different down leads to achieve dual channel communications. Now, a little quirk about the dual channel communications is that it doesn't run in single ears. It is a two-ear affair, and it's very difficult to discern which radio it comes from. So that's a potential issue. On top of that, FCS on their Taobao page actually sells a 3.5 mm downlead for use with computers and phones. One weird quirk I discovered with this headset is that if we're jacking it into the computer, their stereo is actually inverted, meaning right side goes to left, left side goes to right, all this stuff. It's a confusing affair. That aside, it actually has a fairly decent, if not awesome, stereo sound quality. You can clearly discern left side and right side. Now that we're done with the actual communications, let's talk about its actual noise attenuation. We have a secret guest today. See you there. Hi guys, so today we have random GWK / semi-ranger
Just a
Billy. Yep. Larp buddies. Anyways, so we're here to compare the contact freeze that he's wearing and the FMA AMP that I recently got. So, we're in the hole, shall we?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Alright, fucking
Here we
hell.
go.
Okay. Carl, maybe?
You have the voice meter ready?
Oh, you can still hear me?
Wait, do you have the
we're
voice
not-
meter
You
ready?
gotta rewind everyone. You gotta warn everyone.
Wait, do
we're
you have
gonna
the
blow,
voice
so,
meter ready, right?
yeah, it's armed already, so we're gonna blow it.
Sound grenade, cover your ears!
Okay, so.
Cover your ears!
3, 2, 1. Okay?
Yep.
Yep.
Nothing happened.
So, you're talking, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Stop
so.
ringing. Of course.
Stop, so we can get the other one going. Okay.
Alright, ready?
Okay, so second try, we swapped out our ear pros. So, eyes and ears.
Sound grenade!
Okay, god damn it. Fire in the hole! There it goes. Okay, so felt.
Yeah, I mean, the AMP did work. The biggest problem is like after you have the loud noise, you just shut down for no reason.
Oh, really?
And just cover all the noise. You did a great job on stopping the noise, but after it doesn't recover that fast as the computer free.
I see. Yeah, it does recover less.
Yeah, and once after the explosive sign is gone, the computer free just operate normally. And
Oh yeah. God damn it.
and because didn't work like that at all. But to be fair, this stuff is like
A third.
for half the price of a contemporary, that's why.
Honestly, you did mention it before that this has, it just feels weird, the noise, right?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Because even to my experience, the Contact 3 has significantly better noise in terms of people speaking.
Yeah.
It's better in terms of talk through, and you said it before, it has a bit more, it feels like in a small room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, that sounds like trapped in a really small container or some stuff like that.
Makes
but
sense.
It just sounds
Yeah.
weird to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. But yeah, I mean, for the look, AMP probably work.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's the only replica you can get for AMP look stuff. You're operator as hell.
Yeah.
Go for it, why not?
Ranger guys.
Yeah,
come on,
Ranger
Ranger.
now using the
Yeah, sure.
AMP
Yeah.
and replacing this content free. I mean, they got their reason to replace it because you're using the new radio, new PDT. That's why they're using the new headset as well.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah, but after all, content free, after pre-ages, I bought it like, I don't know, probably 5 years ago, but it still works and
Yeah.
you restart it.
So, yeah, that's the comparison mainly for Contact 3 versus the FMA amps.
FMA AMP.
To be fair, it's probably not a fair assessment. This is a third of that. So,
I mean, to be fair, this one is a real deal. This one is just a replica, to be honest.
But honestly, I think it passed for the function.
Yeah, I mean,
it's Contact.
It works for as
It's
an
like dual
ear
comms.
defender. It
Yeah.
works as an ear defender.
Yeah. Dual comms. Yeah.
But if you ask me if it work great or not, probably not the best ear pro I can get for this price.
Yeah. We have earmores, which about the same.
Probably it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And way cheaper.
Yeah, cheaper.
And
And we have
Impact
Impact
Sports,
Sports.
yeah.
Those have no comms, but they do work better in terms of like the sound department.
And also as an ear pro.
Yeah. This one, the headbands have, it's not enough pressure, but
Yeah. But like, whatever.
that's minor, really.
Not the biggest problem.
Yeah.
I mean, not end of row at all. But
Yeah, we could use the rail mounts, but I just didn't bother to bring it out.
If,
Anyways, so
if you're the
that,
lapper,
yeah,
get one.
yeah,
Work the bugs.
$3,000 worth.
Right.
Right, so that concludes our third-party testing. Yeah, we'll see you back in the review. See ya. Okay, so coming back, let's talk about its advantages in list form. First of all, it is a connectorized system, like the actual amp is, meaning that you can run different connectors. I believe they also have a connector for FCS own V60 push talks. You can run 2 down leads, dual comms, as well as a 3.5mm jack to play music and another comm jack. The world is our oyster. Mix and match. It also has a boost mode once you max out the volume and press on the plus button long enough. And it gives you a short period of time where you achieve super hearing and you can hear every single thing. You can hear a pin drop in a noisy room. Yes, that's true. It is also much cheaper than the actual obscure amps. Granted, it doesn't have NFMI technology, but remember, this is 1/10 of the real obscure amp. It's cheap, and it's fairly decent. Now, one of the last advantages is related to their rail arms. Unlike the older RACs, it's a much better spec dovetail rail section that doesn't snap off as easily as the old RACs, among its slew of other issues. However, it sometimes still does snap off on some rails. For example, the Caimans, their rail specs is a bit iffy. It has a bit of a weird, how should I say it? It's a bit more flexible than the actual obscure arc rails, and that's contributing to it being easier to snap on those. So on top of that, let's talk about the critiques. First of all, there is no gel cups. God, I wish they have gel cups. Please, FCS, please release some gel cups for us, please. Anyways, sourcing extra cables are also difficult. They are only available on FCF's Taobao page, which is basically China's eBay. Not eBay, Amazon. However, you might have issues shipping them out to different places, as you know, Zikoof. As we mentioned before, dual comms doesn't run on 2 ears. It's kind of annoying, but come on, it's $1,000. You don't ask for more. At last, as we mentioned before, the rail mounts still snap off on some select rails, like the Caimans. This could be fixed with what I call a 3M mount mod, which is to say I convert a actual 3M Peltor mount base for use with the arc rail mount adapters. This not only solves the issue of having a easier to snap off arm, it also provides a better amount of retention on your head as it angles your arms slightly inwards. We'll make a video on that very soon. So in conclusion, it's a good valuable headset for $150 US. It's cheap, it has dual comm capabilities, it is very modular, and you can easily swap between two different platforms. It's very similar to Earmore in terms of performance. However, the feature set it provides is a step up, and as a result, I would recommend this over the Earmore, just because you have much better user expandability and modifications capabilities. I've got nothing else. Thank you.